The roads are in to a point. Still some work to be done, but they are now meshing with the landscape much better than they were, so I'm quite pleased about that. The big bit that needs to be done is the junctions, as you can see, and they're currently not got a collision mesh on them, which is fine for now, but will need to be addressed at some point. The other thing I've been working on quite a lot over the past week or so is the process by which I can digitize and transfer linear obstacles and so forth into the map. And here you can start to see the hedges. So all of these hedges are dynamically created through Houdini. Basically just imported straight in. Now the scaling's a bit off and they don't look amazing right now, but it's a proof of concept rather than anything else. But I'm still pretty happy to do this kind of length and volume of hedges. The inverted commas old way would have been a royal pain in the backside. And would have taken, days, if not more. All told, this particular set of hedges took me about 15 minutes. And they're not perfect, you can see bits sticking out there, and they do need a little bit of tweaking and titivating. The other big thing I've managed to work on and get incorporated is the distant map border, which you can now start to see. So all the hedges will stretch onto that. All the trees are already populated on the map border, and you can see, and the roads actually go off onto that as well. So in theory the traffic splines will go off into the distance, and it'll feel a little bit more alive, I think. And now we're coming down to this little farm which I've bought, and I thought I'd share with you a feature I've been working on, which is essentially manual milking. So at the minute you get your cow placeable, just like this, and this is just the bog standard small cow pasture, and you can see here 15 animals. The health is currently 0 because it's got no food, and I'm about to EDC that in and cheat a little to generate. But essentially you'd have this pasture here which would generate milk, or not generate milk because pastures don't in base game, but you'd have your animal husbandry, so let's say, that's generating milk, and you'd have another one over here, and again you'd have a different set of requirements and so on, and there's another one down that gap down there. What I've done is I've created a new set of specializations that allow you to basically have a pasture, and I'll set these fields up as pastures with the animal grazing mod in mind. Players will come in and you'll be able to get 30, 40, 50 cows in a field, maybe, depending on some of the bigger ones, and they'll eat the grass. But to get the milk, you'll have to milk them, so you'll have to bring them to your cowshed, in this case here, and this is just all knocked up. This isn't actually a farm that I'm going to run, but essentially you come in here and you can see in the trigger controls in the F1 menu, milk the cows comes up, and that will milk the animals that are in this particular placeable. So you'll bring them in, you'll put them in here. There's a little animal dialogue here, and that's where you'll drop your cows off, and then you'll milk them, and that's where you'll get your milk from in your main husbandry, and then you take the cows back out to the field to carry on grazing, and that's kind of the principle. Now I'm just going to very quickly buy myself a tractor and a tipper to cheat some TMR into these so that they produce some milk. Good job I've not got collisions on these hedges yet. So yeah, you drive down here. I think this is actually going to be quite a nice little map when it's all said and done. So these pastures are already set up as auto water, so it shouldn't be too big an issue. Isn't it taking? There. Give them some. And as you can see, I mean, that's a very small area for the size of the field. It's not meant to be anything but demonstrative right now. So obviously cows that haven't got sufficient health don't produce milk, so that's why we've got to feed them. So I'll whack that speed up now. If I get out, you see health at 10%, milk currently 0. That's to be expected because the milk is being tracked per cow in the cluster. That's the way that FarmSim does it now, as clusters. And those clusters are based on age, health, and now whether they've been milked or not. So I haven't yet got the dialogue working properly to remove them. Need to get that shepherd crook thing out. There we go. And it's raining. Well, I'll bring that down to 1 now. So if I understand this correctly, I should be able to put these into my stick. And I have. And I can go put them in the shed. And I'll just milk this set for now to demonstrate the move to husbandry. Yes, okay. We'll come over to here. And if you look down the bottom right, you can see health 60%, milk 0. And if I hit R, I now have 196 litres of milk because I've milked those cows. And I can put those cows back in the field now to carry on feeding. And obviously you don't have to do it group by group. You can bring all your cows in at once and then milk them all. There is a plan to have the health of the cows impacted by the frequency of your milking. So if you don't milk a cow, you know, in a month, it's going to suffer some relatively nasty health consequences as a result of that. But that's the basic idea, and hopefully you can start to see where I'm going with this. And similarly with the sheep will be set up so that you have to shear them, and that'll be an annual activity to avoid fly strike and health impacts. And the volume of wool you get will not be anywhere near the base game. You know, farmers are not raising sheep in the UK for wool production. It's a byproduct of keeping sheep. So, sorry, you won't be becoming rich off the back of wool production. But yeah, it's definitely a map I'm pretty enthused at getting up and running. So hopefully it won't be too long with the workflow in Houdini that we're looking at. You know, going from base blank map to this has only taken probably about 10 hours worth of work, actually doing things rather than creating the tools in Houdini to do them. So, you know, fingers crossed when those tools are finished off and we've got a tutorial, people can follow that and get their own maps started and out the door in much quicker turnaround. But thanks for watching. I hope that's been interesting. Feel free to leave some questions or comments in the video, and see you later.